Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. You're listening to the longest running superhero role playing game on Earth. I'm your host, the Game Master, and today we're talking about Captain America, Nick Fury, Sharon Carter, S.H.I.E.L.D., all sorts of things. But before we get into that, smash that like button, make sure you're still subscribed, ring the bell for notifications, and be sure to leave us a comment. It helps us out with the YouTube algorithm, and we just love hearing from you guys. We've got a great community here, and it's all thanks to you. Thank you so much for being here. So, with all that said, let's dive in. Prologue to this one takes place in the North Atlantic Ocean, where Batman and Robin are in a submarine. Their sensors detect a strange bit of ice up ahead of them, and it has a cavitation inside, and they're detecting some sort of life form within. So the submarine pulls it into the cargo bay, and to their surprise, Batman and Robin find Captain America, a living legend of World War II. They melt the ice, and thanks to the wonders of the super soldier serum, Steve Rogers survived an ordeal that would have easily killed most men. Steve wakes up swinging, but Batman and Robin assure him that he's among friends. Batman tells Steve he's missed a lot. It's the 1960s now, and the America that Steve once knew is gone. He tells Steve he couldn't have returned at a better time, though, assuring him that America needs him now more than ever. Which brings us to the main plot of this game session, which takes place in Washington, D.C. in 1966, a year after Steve Rogers joined both the Avengers and the Supreme Headquarters International Espionage and Law Enforcement Division, or S.H.I.E.L.D. for short. The America of 1966 seems so unfamiliar that Captain America actually feels more at home on a mission overseas. And as such, the adventure begins with Cap on a S.H.I.E.L.D. cargo plane alongside a female S.H.I.E.L.D. agent named Sharon Carter, who's actually the niece of Peggy Carter. Agent Carter asks Steve if he did anything fun on Saturday night, and he says he paid a visit to his old barbershop quartet friends, but they're all 20 years older than him, so things were kind of awkward. She gives him a sympathetic smile, and a voice comes over the PA system telling them it's time. So Cap jumps out of the plane using a S.H.I.E.L.D. hang glider. He silently boards a cargo ship under cover of night and encounters a guard. Steve sneaks up on the thug using the stealth skill, then grapples with the man, putting his hand over his mouth, then silently knocks him out. Steve makes his way through the ship, encountering two more men. He throws his shield at one, and using a special ability Steve has, he has the shield bounce off the first thug and hit the second thug. He also subs martial arts for damage. Due to his EV of 10 and their low hit points, both men are knocked out. Steve continues on his way, taking out two more men with the shield, then kicking one man into a bulkhead, knocking him out. As he continues on, he knocks out several more men, and one man reaches for a fire alarm. So Cap throws his shield, knocking him out so his arm goes limp, and the alarm is not pulled. More shield agents arrive via their hang gliders, and Sharon Carter flirts with Cap, who says, "Mission first." As the shield agents free the hostages they came for, Captain America comes face to face with a new supervillain named Batroc the Leaper, who does a flying kick. But Cap blocks with his star-spangled shield, then on his turn smacks Batroc with it. But Batroc is wearing armor, which softens the blow. On Batroc's turn, he jumps and kicks. He subs his martial arts for damage, but luckily Cap keeps his shield between the enemy and himself. In French, Batroc says, "I thought you were more than just a shield." But Captain America doesn't fall for his bait. Instead, Steve throws the shield, hitting Batroc in the face where there is no armor. Batroc is knocked out, and Steve focuses on what really matters, freeing the hostages. After that's done and the hostages are free, Agent Carter goes through the files on the ship, keeping any paperwork she was ordered to bring back. Steve asks her what she's doing, and she says she's following orders. Returning to S.H.I.E.L.D's headquarters, Rogers confronts Director Fury and is briefed about Project Insight. It's basically the same technology the Batman used to link the Bat computer in the Batcave with the mobile crime computer in the Batmobile. Using this technology, three S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarriers will be linked via radio and can operate via autopilot. After going through the Manila folders that Agent Carter recovered, Nick Fury becomes suspicious about Project Insight and asks Secretary of Defense Alexander Pierce to delay the project. On his way to a meeting with President Lyndon B. Johnson, Fury is ambushed by a Russian assassin called the Winter Soldier. Escaping to Rogers' apartment, Nick Fury warns him S.H.I.E.L.D. is compromised, but then he is shot by the Winter Soldier before handing Rogers a manila folder containing the ship's documents. Fury is pronounced dead, but is secretly alive and moved to a new location. The Secretary of Defense orders Steve Rogers to S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters, where he asks for that information that Fury gave him. But when Captain America doesn't give him what he wants, Pierce brands him a fugitive. Hunted by agents from the Bureau for Law and Order, Rogers meets with Agent Carter, and together they discover a secret S.H.I.E.L.D. bunker in New Jersey where they activate a computer containing the consciousness of Arnim Zola. Zola reveals that after being captured by Rogers during World War II, he was recruited to the United States government via Operation Paperclip. In the years since the war, he and several other former agents of the Axis powers secretly reformed Hydra within the ranks of the United States government, using the Winter Soldier as their primary assassin. The pair narrowly escapes death when a S.H.I.E.L.D. missile destroys the bunker, and they realize that Pierce is Hydra's leader within S.H.I.E.L.D. They capture S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Jasper Sitwell, a Hydra mole, forcing him to divulge that Zola developed the helicarrier autopilot system, allowing the Insight helicarriers to sweep the globe and eliminate any threats to Hydra. Sitwell is killed in an ambush by the Winter Soldier, whom Rogers fails to recognize as Bucky Barnes, his longtime best friend, previously thought dead. He had survived due to Zola's experimentation and has been repeatedly brainwashed and cryogenically frozen to perform Hydra's missions. The heroes manage to escape to a safe house where Nick Fury, faked his death, plans to sabotage the helicarriers. After the World Security Council members arrive for the helicarrier's launch, Rogers broadcasts Hydra's plot to everyone at S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters. Agent Carter, disguised as one of the council members, disarms Pierce. Fury arrives and exposes Hydra to the public. Following a struggle, Fury fatally shoots Pierce. Rogers raids one helicarrier and sabotages it, then does the same to the second. But when he arrives on the third, he runs into the Winter Soldier. The ship collides with S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters and Rogers falls into the river. Barnes rescues the unconscious Rogers, then disappears into the woods. With S.H.I.E.L.D. in disarray, Carter appears before a Senate subcommittee to defend her and Rogers' actions. Fury, under the cover of his apparent death, heads to Europe to pursue Hydra's remaining cells. While in Europe, Nick Fury learns that a man named Brock Rumlow aims to steal a man-made disease from a lab in Lagos. So Captain America assembles the Avengers and they take on Rumlow. But the villain blows himself up, attempting to kill Rogers. Wanda Maximoff, who was a villain and is now an Avenger, telekinetically diverts the explosion, accidentally destroying a nearby building and killing several Wakandan humanitarian workers in the process. General Thunderbolt Ross informs the Avengers that the United Nations is preparing to pass the Sokovia Accords, which will establish a UN panel to oversee and control the team. The Avengers are divided. Tony Stark supports oversight because of well, I'm so sorry. I'm so tongue-tied today. Because of his history making weapons that were used to hurt the people he didn't want to be hurt. While Rogers has more faith in his own judgment than the judgment of politicians. Meanwhile, Helmut Zero tracks down and kills the Winter Soldier's old Hydra handler, stealing a book containing the trigger words that activate the Winter Soldier's brainwashing. At a UN conference in Vienna where the accords are to be ratified, a bomb kills King T'Chaka of Wakanda. Security footage indicates that the bomber is the Winter Soldier, whom T'Chaka's son, T'Challa, vows to kill. Informed by Sharon Carter of the Winter Soldier's whereabouts, Rogers decides to try to bring in the Winter Soldier. So he tracks him down to Bucharest, where he encounters T'Challa, aka the Black Panther. And the two heroes get into a fight. Captain America's shield makes all the difference, though, in terms of game stats. It has the better numbers. So Captain America is the winner, which doesn't seem to matter when they are both hit with knockout gas and apprehended by the Bucharest police. Impersonating a psychiatrist sent to interview the Winter Soldier, Zemo recites the words to activate his brainwashing. He questions the Winter Soldier, then sends him on a rampage to cover his own escape. Rogers stops the Winter Soldier, who says that Zemo is the real Vienna bomber and wanted the location of the Siberian Hydra base where other brainwashed Winter Soldiers are kept in cryogenic stasis. Unwilling to wait for authorization to apprehend Zemo, Rogers goes rogue only for Iron Man to catch up to him at the airport, where they fight until Iron Man wins. Because again, the stats they give each of them in TSR's old Marvel Superheroes role-playing game makes all the difference. And it's Iron Man who has way higher numbers. Without informing Ross, Stark goes to the Siberian Hydra facility where he finds Zemo, who then shows him footage of the Winter Soldier killing Stark's parents. Black Panther fights Zemo and wins, and Zemo is taken to the authorities. Which brings us to the epilogue. G. Gordon Godfrey is on the news giving a speech about the Scarlet Witch. They show footage of the European village she accidentally burned down. They also show footage of the building she recently destroyed. And he reveals she is the daughter of Magneto, the mutant who nearly destroyed the world during the Cuban Missile Crisis. And he shows footage of that. He even has footage of Captain America fighting Iron Man and other things, like one of the Hulk's many rampages. G. Gordon Godfrey claims that the reason the world is such a mess right now is because of superheroes. That while they may mean well, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. He urges the world to consider banning all forms of vigilantism, and that if the supers want to help, they can turn in their tights for a badge and do it by the book. More and more, the general public begins to turn on the superheroes, all superheroes. This dissent leads to protests, and the protests turn into full-scale riots. And G. Gordon Godfrey, the alien known as Glorious Godfrey, secretly reports back to his master, Darkseid, that everything is going as planned. But that's a story for another day. We thought this was interesting. We hope you did too. If so, and you'd like to support the channel, we'd love it if you took a moment of your time to smash that like button. Check to see if you're still subscribed, because YouTube really does love to unsubscribe people. It just happened again this morning as of me recording this. Ring the bell for notifications so you know when we upload more stuff. And as always, leave us a comment because we love hearing from you guys. From all of us here at the longest running superhero role playing game on earth, we hope that you guys have a good one and we'll catch you in the next adventure. Bye.